On February 2nd, 2024, I went to Apashe's opening tour for Europe. It was the first show in London. And yeah, this is my short and honest review how it has been for me. Traveled for this concert from Germany to London because I had FOMO. I was like, it's the first show in Europe. It's gonna be epic. I don't want to miss out. I arrived at 6 p.m. at the Coco London, and honestly, the location is beautiful. You can see it here. It was before a theater and then was repurposed to actually host concerts there. I thought it was a genius move because that's kind of what Apashe does with his music. He takes like the classical approach and is mixing it, with the modern kind of way of music. Therefore, I was like, okay, gives like, the right vibe to go into the concert. Actually, I was really happy to arrive earlier because he had like two pre-bands. I mean, not really bands, it was like two artists. The first one was Zaika. He also mentioned later that he's actually like part of the brass orchestra, and it was really cool. I've never seen someone to actually play live a trumpet and then, making a mix there. I will also blend this in right now. It was impressive and everyone was vibing and was really giving like the great atmosphere. The next artist who came out was Vasio, and he already is, he made like the track Majesty together with Apashe. So yeah, he had his own performance, and my first honest thought when he came out and he was like rapping and also had his own mix, I was like, wow, he has a really great stage presence. Like you can see he has such a confidence and he's just there. Like he has been doing this, I don't know, for like 20 years, just like living on a stage. At least this is how it seemed. You never know how the artist really feels, but it came across like really laid back, confident, and also for a reason. He was really good. I was excited because I'm like, okay, he's, I know him also from the music videos and, from collaborating with Apashe for long. So I was like, oh, wow, he's also here. The good part of arriving early is not only you see, the cool pre-artists, you also get to stand, like you pick the place where you want to be. And yes, I made it to the front row exactly as I wanted, exactly as I intended. After 2 hours, of course, like Apashe came out and everyone was just like screaming and the vibe was totally right. And yeah, there was like so much energy in the room, and he started right away with, the music, and also like 8 people from the brass orchestra came out. So the stage was kind of like a V shape. So Apashe was like at the top, and then the brass orchestra, like 4 and 4 were there. They looked super cool. They had like hoodies on, kind of like this one. Just like that, like hoodies on, and looked kind of like darkish. And you could just see like, the golden trumpets or like the other instruments. Like I'm not a pro in that, but yeah, like it was epic. So what surprised me actually was that it was not like a song after song basis. It was a mix. It was directly like a clubbing mix kind of, I have to actually admit, before it's a bit embarrassing, but I was not sure how I would dance, because I usually use the music for, inspiration, or like taking a walk, or just, kind of like, I don't know, it really helps me to get in the right mindset, to do some stuff. But yeah, I didn't know how I would dance. But of course, like he made like a mix out of different songs, and it was like playing in some snippets and then had like really smooth transitions to other of his songs. That helped a lot. Of course, like I didn't have any problems with dancing. More so, my feet, my leg were hurting. This was like a proper boot camp workout. The concert lasted for like 2 hours or something. I came, okay, maybe like 1 hour 30. I didn't even measure the time, but it just felt great. I don't have that much content, but I will like blend in some that I had. I hope YouTube doesn't block it. Please don't block it. It's my first YouTube video. The whole mix was actually like, some bangers from the past. It was like a mix of all his music. Of course, the main album, Antagonist, was mostly present, and the songs were played out yeah, longer. And the coolest part was he had like a screen in the back, and some artists who like featured on some of his songs who were not there, the face was like blended in. I don't know how like they recorded it, but it was like just the face in 3D was singing and like moving and looking around. And it was also in terms of like visual effects, it was just like a wow moment where I was just like, ah. I mean, I was screaming the whole time, but this added definitely, on top of it, also like the visual aspect. You have the orchestra, you have like Apashe vibing there at his like DJ pult, and yeah, in the back. So all the senses, and again, the location adds up to it. You're like in an old theater. Everything around was just like pure ecstasy. One artist who he's collaborating with, and I'm sorry if I purge the name, it's Mangugu. I'm really sorry, but yeah, they have together the song Revenge on the Orchestra. And he was there. He was also there. He came out as like a present for us, the audience. I really have to mention, I love Apashe. He's doing an amazing job. But honestly, my favorites were like the brass orchestra, because they were so cute. And I don't mean it in like a patronizing way or like downplaying their skills. They were badasses. They were there with the hoodies. I just want to say, they're so cute. They were so happy to be there. You could see it. You could see them like jumping and dancing with the crowd. At any time there was like, some light on their faces, because mostly everything was dark. They were just like smiling and kind of like smiling to each other. When you're like having fun with a friend and you're just like sharing it, and yeah, you could totally sense the vibe. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are so cute. I had to just imagine for a second. I'm like, okay, you're like learning, for instance, like, play the trumpet. I don't know, you're like in this setup, I feel like it's more like a classical setup. Again, this is just like from my imagination. You're like in this classical setup, learning classical music. And here you are playing like in London in an old theater, and people literally, they were like mosh pits, The crowd was going wild. Everyone was always jumping. There were like mosh pits, screaming, like proper, like rock stars. And, that's kind of the different perception that you would have of like classical music, artists, that usually it's very quiet and everyone just like sits and it's very calm. And here you have this like crowd, going totally wild for them. So yeah, it was so cute how they were, and how much they were enjoying it. I loved it. And also like one girl at the end, again, let me just be delusional, but she just like pointed like, this K-pop heart, and I was just like K-pop hearting back. I was like, yes, I also wanted, to be like, yes, guys, you did also an amazing job. I mean, it's like Apashe's concert, and it's amazing how they like collaborate. So yeah, I just hope they also, get all the credit. The crowd itself was great. I mean, I was like in the downer part, and anyway, like at the front. So usually you have always like kind of like the mostly like, the wildest people really love the action. Sometimes I would look around, because I've showed you how the theater would look like, and the people at the top, just from my perspective, they seemed a bit stiff, because I would just like look around, like dancing, sweating, everything, just screaming. And I just look at the people there, they were kind of just like chilling with arms. Maybe I just look at the wrong moments, but that was just like one maybe weird impression that I had. I'm like, how can you stay calm? Of course, I also got some merch. I got a t-shirt, which I cannot show now because it's currently like in the washing machine, but I can share with you my cap that I got. Actually, it's also the last cap. Also, let me brag here as well. Yeah, it was the last cap. They actually pinned it away from the wall where they were displaying all the merchandise. So yeah, I'm so glad about this, and I'm wearing it proudly. Overall, as you maybe can tell, I'm totally hyped. I can so recommend for anyone to just go. I go very frequently to like concerts and like music shows and different kinds of, genre and way. I mean, I even went to like a Harry Styles concert. It doesn't mean, I'm just listening to trap or classical music, but I just want to say it's such a unique experience. You have this classical and the modern vibe, and like kind of like a club mixy environment. Another thing that I really like, Apashe seems like a very like humble artist, in a sense that it's not like an ego show. It's not like, okay, I'm here. He always mentioned, all the other artists. He thanked, the orchestra. He also, Vasu was also involved. It didn't felt like this, one-man ego show. And I also appreciate it about artists when they have like a great team. And yeah, at least, this is how it seems like. You never know how it's actually like really in reality. I have to be honest here, I'm very biased. He's my top artist since 2017. I actually had to look it up in my Spotify playlist. And yeah, since 2017, he always was in my like top 3 Spotify Wrapped. For me, what really makes it so special is that he is really, in my eyes, still a very like musician and artist. He, I don't know, like collaborating with an orchestra and making stuff like that. And there's actually like a little document, I don't know if it's like a documentary movie or, but like a little show where he kind of like explains and shows how he set up a whole album with an orchestra and has so many like creative ideas. You can also see it from the music videos. They're very weird in a sense. I mean, but in a good sense, it's something so, at least for me, like so unusual to see. And it's always, if there's something, he always delivers. It's never, I don't know, like boring stuff or repetitive stuff. It's, high quality. But again, this is just like how I perceive it. I went alone and I didn't want to ask friends. I mean, I had some people who would have joined, but I was not sure, if he would have played the like song to song basis. I always seen it kind of like edgy, but honestly, next time I would like just take as many people as I can, because it's just really fun, like kind of just like dance around party mode. So even if somebody first is maybe like reluctant and is like, oh, classical music, I don't know, I don't like it, or it could be weird, to go to a concert like this, just like take them, because I guarantee you they will for sure have fun. And yeah, even after I showed the videos actually to my parents, they were like, oh my god, we want to go, this is amazing. So yeah, it doesn't have any restriction on some group. I will definitely go again and keep on going, and I'm so excited what this artist has more to offer. But if you're thinking to go on a concert, honestly, just do it. Just take your friends or even go alone. I had the best time like by myself. I actually met really cool people there. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, see you soon.